Even as a child, Ian Frank Tortorici shunned the spotlight. His father, John Frank, enjoyed expressing his pride by posting photos and videos of him on social media. But the boy insisted, "Don't put me on Facebook." When Frank uploaded a video of his son's wrestling highlights to YouTube, "He had one move, a cradle. He just dominated that move," recalled Frank. Tortorici commented, "To whom it may concern, I do not endorse this video." His father always knew that when his son volunteered to fight in Ukraine, it wasn't for the attention. His father felt the need to share his son's story. "I just have to, because he's not here and he can't stop me," he said in an interview with the Marine Corps Times. "I have to tell the world who he is." His father said, "I didn't know who he was." One of 5 children, Tortorici was always a caretaker, wrote his younger brother Taylor Frank in a statement on Facebook. Taylor Frank, who was often in the hospital as a child, remembered his brother reading to him or distracting him, making funny faces so he wouldn't notice the needles. Ian Frank Tortorici from Orange County, California, developed an interest in the military at 14 when he decided to join Devil Pups, a program that gives young people a taste of life in the Marine Corps. His father said he loved it. His father is a veteran of the U.S. Navy, and his grandfather was a Vietnam War veteran. As a teenager, Tortorici considered the Navy Reserve as a way to pay for college, but spoke with a Navy recruiter at his father's urging. That was it. He became a Navy reservist. The young man grew up with the last name Frank and served in the Marine Corps under that name, but adopted Tortorici, his great-grandfather's name, as an adult. He changed his name as he did everything in life, according to his father. He once announced it with little fanfare, and then he did it. Tortorici served in the reserve as a data systems technician starting in 2009 and was discharged as a corporal, according to Navy spokesperson Yvonne Carlock. The end of his current contract in the reserve was listed in the Marine Corps databases as 2016, according to the Navy spokesperson, although his father, John Frank, said his time in the reserve ended the previous year. He was activated for 10 months in Miramar, California, where he was part of Marine Wing Support Squadron 473, though he was never sent on his expected deployment to Bahrain, according to John Frank. Tortorici did not fit into the bravado of the Corps and did not like telling people he was a Marine. From Seattle Pacific University, the young man experimented with teaching and technology, but decided to become a police officer with the National Park Service and later with the Immigration and Customs Enforcement. In his free time, Tortorici would strap on a backpack and travel to Europe, especially Eastern Europe, where he met and fell in love with a young Ukrainian woman who became his girlfriend. His father would only learn about this later. When the war began, Frank Tortorici's girlfriend encouraged him to provide humanitarian aid rather than volunteering on the front lines, as she later told John Frank. However, he quit his job, headed to Ukraine, and joined the International Legion, against his doctor girlfriend's wishes, with whom he planned to marry once the war ended. Frank Tortorici kept this decision to himself until March 2022, when he decided to tell his father through a message that he had gone to work as a volunteer in Ukraine. Over the following 15 months, Tortorici would fight in battles across Ukraine. Sometimes he shared details. Other times, he would be silent for weeks, during which his father feared the worst. Frank realized from the messages that his son had changed. He became bolder, more proud. In pictures, his uniform always looked sharp, and it was clear to his father that Tortorici took immense pride in every part of his uniform. This was unusual for Tortorici, who had previously bought the cheapest car he found in the Sunday paper. When his father asked him to come home, Tortorici invariably replied, "I'll come home when it's all over." Frank Tortorici fought on the front lines against Russian troops and provided medical assistance to soldiers and civilians. At the end of June, Tortorici took a break from fighting on the front lines. He told his father he was going to Kramatorsk, Ukraine. But on June 27, 2023, Russian missiles struck the city center of Kramatorsk, where Frank Tortorici was dining in a pizzeria during his time off. According to intelligence reports, a Russian spy had provided the location where the soldiers were during their downtime. He was 32 years old and was killed alongside more than a dozen other civilians. After Tortorici's death, his grieving father learned more about the last year of his son's life than from those who fought alongside him. His comrades said that Tortorici showed no fear and always insisted on being the first to enter the trenches. They said he had the instinct to change positions 3 times, saving himself and others from artillery fire each time. They said he would argue with the officers if he believed something was wrong, and the officers would listen because they respected his experience on the battlefield. Tortorici was unable to fulfill what his father said was his plan to marry his girlfriend and start a family with her in Eastern Europe. But a consolation for Frank is that his son, by fighting for Ukraine with the men of his team, finally found a place to which he felt he belonged.
Ready, aim. Ready, aim. Ready, aim. Fire. Freeze and arm.
Thank you, family. Please take your seats.
On behalf of the President of the United States, the United States Marine Corps, and a grateful nation, please accept this flag as a symbol of our appreciation for your loved one's honorable and faithful service.
Appreciate it.